I recently received my starter kit from Ubiik, and here it is. This has got the base station here, and then the endpoints or evaluation boards here, and a nice little compact. There are antennas and cables and a power supply inside here in the box. I'm going to take it out in a moment and put it together. This is the website that gives you more information about the starter kit and the cost and what you get with the kit. So I'm going to unbox it, and then I'll show you how it's set up after that. Okay, now I've set up the base station here, and I've connected it to my Linux laptop, and it allows the base station to pass through the laptop and connect to the Wi-Fi in my home, and then that connects this big screen TV is connected to the Ubiik cloud out of Taiwan. So I'm going to connect it up now, and it should take about 45 seconds for it to connect. So now the base station is logging up through the Wi-Fi to the Ubiik cloud, and will show up in a moment. Right now it says offline. I don't know if you can see it. I'll see if I can zoom in here. Right here, where that red dot is. So it's offline for the moment. And here in a few seconds, and it should connect up. And you can actually connect the base station up to any computer system, to any cloud that you want to. This is just for demonstration purposes. You're welcome to use the Ubiik cloud to connect. There's APIs available to connect to the Ubiik cloud, or you can do the direct connections to the base station, to the gateway yourself, and then have your own system. So these base stations could be, there it is, its own line now, so it took about 45 seconds or so to connect up. So now the base station is talking. I'm going to connect up the remote devices here in a moment. Let me back out here a little bit. Okay, I'm going to connect up to this, connect the endpoint up to a power supply from my laptop there, a USB connection. And see, here's the endpoint right here. So I'll connect that here in a moment. Okay, I've connected up my endpoint, the evaluation board, and it's talking to the base station. Of course, they're right side by side, but the idea is the endpoint will talk to the base station. The base station then passes the information through whatever the backhaul is. In this case, it's the Wi-Fi at my home in my lab, and then that goes off to the back-end system. In our case, it's the Ubiik cloud. So you can see here the sine waves. So that's the transmission from the endpoint up to the base station. And in a moment here, I'm going to send a command from the base station down to the endpoint. So that supports security patches and firmware updates. FOTA, they call it, firmware over the air, FOTA. So right now the LED on the endpoint is blue, and hopefully you can see that just fine. So I'm going to go to demos here, and select, I'm going to change it to white. I'm going to send a signal down to this endpoint. I've got the one set up right now, and then I'm going to send it out. It takes about 5 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. So about 4 or 5 seconds there, it transmitted out. So that shows the two-way capabilities of this system, and it's a very powerful, very disciplined system. Actually, each endpoint gets a schedule. It's scheduled for a time for each endpoint to transmit up to the base station. So you don't have this packet loss from all the collisions that are taking place. LoRa just sends it up and aloha and just hopes it makes it through. In this case, we make sure that every device has a time to talk. Then there's paging channels available also, so the end device can tell the base station, I have something that I need to send up before my time. So it's a very disciplined system. Also, the power levels are controlled very tightly, so that the endpoints and the base station can be tuned down. Typical web cell site has 50,000 devices in it, and if you need to add more capacity to your network, you shrink the cell site down, and you have small cell sites, and now you put more cell sites in at 50,000 devices for each one of the cells, and you're increasing your your capacity then. Also, the encoding scheme. This is a very robust forward error correction, but it's also negotiating when the endpoint sees the signal coming from the base station. It says, I need to transmit back at a similar encoding scheme so I can get back to the base station. If that signal is not getting through, you don't get the confirmation from the two-way system capabilities, then the endpoint will then change the encoding scheme so that the signal may be lengthened. They call it latency. They're spreading the signal, but they're able to get through. They get longer distance, or they're able to get out of deep within a building where something a piece of equipment, machinery may be hidden away, buried down in the deep in the bowels of a company. So it's very disciplined, robust, and it's very adaptive to whatever the environment is. So that's the basic overview of the Ubiik Starter Kit, typical base station endpoint capabilities.